Playing more Path of Titans, playing AG this time. Playing on, I think it's Teutonic is the server? Yeah, Teutonic. Just trying to mess around, trying to do what normally gets done. See where we go from there. I will say I have been using AG a lot on a deathmatch server that I kind of mess around on every now and again, most of the time. And AG is really, really, really fun. It took 2 updates and about 3 buffs, and only one of them was a major buff, and AG's way better. Straight up, AG got back kick. AG got a stamina buff. Well, twice it got a stamina buff, and then it got webbed feet as an unlockable ability, which gives it better swim speed. And AG is an actual threat in the water now. I'm just a baby, I don't even have webbed feet yet, and you know how speedy I am in the water. It's so bright. Yeah. I also have a ton of stamina. Oh, there's fish in this lake, I didn't even know that. I have the damn sunlight. I did not realize Baby AG had this much stamina in the water. I can't dive, but I'm basically the closest thing we have to a semi-aquatic herbivore that isn't Dinochirus. That's really cool. We got tail and tail attack. That's only the. Yeah. Just trying to unlock both. I don't think I need to go into a home cave to apply abilities on this server. I do. Damn. Oh. Back to swimming across the lake again. How cool is that? AG has more stamina when swimming like this than it does sprinting. At least at this size. That's really cool. Even without paddle and just webbed feet, adult AG can kind of run some of the slower semi-aquatics down, like Tonka and Zuko. And it's still a pain for defense Spino. Just gotta be very careful. Even though he has a lot of stamina in the water, it's definitely not infinite. Get some water before I forget. One moment. Alright. Need to remember where the path down is. Did I get down that? I don't think so. Would be close. I don't think I'd die, but I think I'd take a ton of damage doing so. Because I can slowly water down that. Be fine. I like this game. Where am I going? I'm way too far to the north for what I'm trying to do. I just accept that, I accept that this game has flaws, and I see its flaws, but a lot of its flaws can be mitigated through a lot of the good choices the devs have made, like allowing mods to move this early. Allowing mods into the game is really done a lot. Especially with how extensive the mod support is overall. Here we go. Yeah. One thing I will say, you can still like a game without liking the developers. It's not that I don't like this game's developers, I don't know them much, but there are other examples. As long as the developers do what they promise, I don't see too big of an issue. Yeah, I don't have anything to unlock yet. Keep on collecting, keep getting marks and growth. Move on up. Ooh, more turtle shells. That's very handy that there's a bunch right here. I think that what the developers did with Iggy in this game is quite interesting, because it's not usually a take I tend to see all that much in dinosaur games, especially. They gave Iggy kind of interesting stuff. For the longest time, Iggy wasn't very good because it had been kind of gutted for being an absolute monster. And Rex came around and kind of ruined it, along with a couple other things just getting updated and it being left in the dust. But I think that, well, I know for a fact that before Iggy got its stamina nerfed and had its damage slightly nerfed, I think like a year and a half ago, if not a little bit more than that. Before that, it was a terror, and after that, it was still decent. It just wasn't able to, you know, face tank an EO trike and then wait for the EO to bleed out. still can't do that anymore, but it can do what it needs to do very well. And it... Hello, Nico, how are you? Can't unlock anything. Yeah, I do still play Smite sometimes. I just haven't played Smite in a little bit. One second. I don't know why that... I don't know why Automob blocked that, but it did. That's just weird Automod stuff. I am doing well. It's good to hear that you are doing well. It's kind of been chillaxing playing Path of Titans. Yeah. Yeah. The like Automod stuff doesn't like things for some reason. Mushrooms, mushrooms, mushrooms. Nightbot can be a pain, but it's helpful for some things. I haven't gotten too much with it set up, but I can figure that out at some point if I need to, if I remember. You should be able to type in all caps. I don't know why it wouldn't allow that. That's fair. I just haven't seen Stream Elements that much. Oh boy, 1 second. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. One second, I might be able to help you with that. Trying to figure out how to fix that. Give me a minute. Hmm. That should be mostly set. Let's try to find something. I just try to figure something out. I'm trying to figure out how to unmute you, but I gotta try to figure it out. I'm sorry about that, Nico. You probably gotta wait for that timeout stuff because I do not know how to change that right now. I can try and figure it out after stream, but my memory is not good and I have a hard time navigating everything. At least it won't do it again because I disabled a bunch of the stuff that it had on that it shouldn't have had. Gotta figure out how to get back up. Always figure out how to get back up, and that's another way I can do it. Like one. Just really have to go all the way around to get back up here, huh? Uh-oh. Surprised that the first fall didn't kill me. The second one, I'm surprised it did. Not that bad. Could be way worse. Or they spawned in the exact same place, huh? Just on the other side. Oh well. kind of annoying that I lost the growth that I had, but it's not too bad. That is one thing that I definitely really hate about this particular area right here is this whole area, and all up here too, is just really poorly made compared to the rest of the map. Like, every other place on the map has a pretty discernible path that you can take, and if it isn't that discernible, usually you can find it pretty easy. Trying to get up and down from Triad Falls and trying to actually get to the fresh water body up here is really annoying for no reason. Server's restarting in a couple minutes anyway. If it's restarting, I'll probably end up server hopping to something else. I'm going the wrong way. That just goes to show how easy I get lost. I've pointed myself in exactly the right way that I'm supposed to go, and I still somehow turn completely around. Let me see if I can fix something. Gotta figure something out. Yeah, your little mod thing, your little nightbot testing thing was correct. I fixed it though, so yeah, I turned all three of those settings off on Nightbot. I don't know why it did that. I don't even know why they were on to begin with. The symbols one I kinda get, but all three of them are completely set now, or should be. Yeah, that kind of stuff happens. There we go. Let's see, what else I got on here? Not that much. Did I already have one video on here? Not made, no. Yep, I fixed the auto mod stuff. I didn't realize that it was even doing that. This from Lambeo. A purple sword? I'm not sure what you mean by a purple sword. There are some mods that you can put on to make purple dinosaurs, and some skins definitely have purple options. And then, of course, as a baby, you have a random skin. This one's kind of purpley. I don't know if a Lambeo has any that can be perfectly purpley, but this one's kind of purple. Yeah. You don't quite have the color customization that a couple of the other dinosaur games have with Path. But Path has a lot more variety in terms of pattern. Because Beasts of Bermuda, you can make like full-on neon-colored dinosaurs. And in the Isle, you have very limited color selection. And Path is somewhere in the middle with, what's it called? I'm getting distracted by the Theri fighting to Megalania. But in Path you have a set of skins, and those vary depending on the dinosaur, and then each dinosaur has 5 different types of pattern per skin. You get 6 of them even. You have 6 different color options, 3 different patterns, and 5 different color choices per section. So that's a lot. This game is definitely the most different from the other two. I feel, at least, because Beast of Bermuda in the Isle, it's a lot of waiting around because you can't speed up your growth that much past just time. The Isle has diets that can give you a growth boost, and Beast of Bermuda has some similar stuff or some other effects that can boost your growth. Whereas Path, on official servers, the only way you can grow is by doing quests, and in most community servers they have passive growth enabled, which allows you to grow over time. But doing quests makes it much faster. I'm gonna switch off of global. Usually I don't keep the global chat open because I don't really want to deal with any of the weird, what's it called? Any of the weird stuff people might end up saying. That's right, on this server, you don't have to go to a home tier to get your abilities. There's tail attack. That's a kick is expensive. 600. Only 100 to unlock, but kick on. I did see some rocks up on the hills. I do know there are rocks in a couple of the canyons in this area too. Little baby Lambeo. Assault rocks, okay. Even better that I came up here instead of going to the canyon. Just assault rocks are up here. Bushes. That's a lovely scenery. There are some rocks up here. Okay, good. Did I not collect all 5 from one of those salt rocks back there, or did we just not have 5 in total left? This hill probably has some anyway. A lot of foliage. Not a bad thing. Okay. Gonna get front kick. Rocks. Okay. There are rocks all over the place in these hills too, which is good. In some of the areas that got updated. We got all of them from just that one hill. Nice. Milk cap mushrooms. Not bad at all. I'll say, I really like Lambeo. Just, the developers did do Lambeo a little bit dirty with the last update. Because Lambeo has always relied on, has relied on its heal call for a really long time in combat. Its heal call being a buff that increases, that rapidly heals it and its herd mates that are nearby for, like, I want to say a minute. Of course, the healing doesn't work if they're bleeding, so yeah. And it doesn't actively heal them by a flat amount, usually. I think it just increases their healing speed. Right now, you can't activate the heal call unless you're in a herd as Lambeo, which is sad. It makes Lambeo a lot less tanky on its own, which is a bit of a shame. And with the bleed buffs that have come out recently, Lambeo is not doing as well as it could be. It's still absolutely invaluable in herds, but on its own it's not the best. And then one of its better partners, which was Anno the Ankylosaur, Anno ended up getting Lone Survivor, which means Anno wants to be alone, not in a group, to get the increased armor. Lambeo kind of in an awkward spot. Let's try to unlock this. So Lambeo has some pretty neat attacks. It's got the tail slap. Unlike most large animals, Lambeo's tail slap just does raw damage. Actually a lot of them just do raw damage because knockback was kind of not. It was put on them for a little bit, but wasn't actually put on. Then you got its other attack that it's got, which is new. It's got its little kick attack, Surprisingly, that little kick attack does very little damage. Sadly, that kick is kind of wonky too. It's definitely an improvement over having nothing that can defend your front, which it had for a little bit, but it's not an amazing attack, sadly. I still like Lambeo. It's still fun to just run around on. He's just not the best fighter. Unlike the other two Hadrosaurs, which are Iguanodon and Barzboldia from official servers. Barzboldia is really slow, but Barz is outright the most bulky thing on official aside from a Crouch Dano. And Barz is very good at dealing with a lot. Because Barz is harder to get free hits on than Anno. And then, of course, Iguanodon is more of a brawler, and let's compare them to actual animals. Barz is kind of like a slower elephant. AD is basically like a large kangaroo, like a zebra. And Lambeo, I guess, would be more like a gazelle. Or something similar. Maybe not quite a gazelle because it's quite tanky. I guess a wildebeest would be a good analog for it. An animal that is more built for running and escaping than it is for fighting, but can still mess something up if it isn't smart. Let's say, Lambeo did get a little bit of a boost from the stamina changes that were put out with the last update. All stamina values were pretty much normalized across the board to deal with, to make Venom more consistent. And Bleed was also changed. The Bleed change hurt Lambeo a little bit. The stamina change made Lambeo much better. Lambeo went from basically just being... Lambeo is in kind of a weird spot and always has been in a pretty weird spot. Because Lambeo can absolutely destroy most mid-tiers, especially in a one-on-one, but absolutely despises fighting Apexes because Lambeo's hitboxes, and especially the hurt box on its tail, is very weird. Lambeo and Kentra kind of have the same issue, I feel, with, what's it called? Well, with their tails, where the last, like, third of Lambeo's tail, this bit counts as the tip of the tail, which is very reduced damage, and about from here to here counts as, well, from like here to here counts as tail, and then this and all of that counts as a body, like a body hit, and of course the head and the neck count as a headshot. So Utah. Guess they don't want to just they don't want to try and fight a baby Lambeo, or they just don't care, which is good for me. Utah's not an official dinosaur, it's her own mod. Oh, I am stuck on a rock. Lambeo and Kentra both have kind of weird hitboxes on their tails. Kentra has a similar issue, but Kentra can get away with it much better than Lambeo, which is Kentra is smaller, which means it is much easier to avoid hits. And Kenshiro also has passive damage on its tail, back, and shoulders because of all its spikes. Kenshiro is a little spiked stegosaur. Basically, this game's equivalent of a porcupine. This river is out of water quality. It is not good. Trying to find some shellfish to get this quest done. Something just came through here, I'm guessing. Possibly that Utah. Can I get up here? I can. Good. A lot of bushes all over the place. That's very interesting how every single one of these piles of shellfish has been completely depleted down to 2. When they're supposed to hold, when they usually hold 7. It's kind of annoying. Probably means that a big group came through here and everyone just kind of picked them up. Water here is super murky because it's got no water quality, so it's super murky. That's what I was trying to say. Lambeo, one big issue I have with Lambeo, aside from its wonky hitboxes, is that Lambeo gets very hungry very quickly. Lambeo is actually smaller than Iggy, but eats almost as much as some of the apex herbivores. I know it eats more than Anno, and it actually eats more than Stego too, which is crazy. This Lambeo is definitely not as strong as Stego outright. It's faster, and it's able to supply heal calls, but Stego is much more powerful. If a Lambeo is lucky, it might be able to take an aloe or 2. If a Stego is smart, a Stego can easily take out 2 or 3 aloes and still have health enough to fight another, usually. Can I go down there? I think I can. And this is a deep spot in the river. At least I can swim down here. This is still birchwoods, so I can get these. Oh, all of these farms have been completely decimated. That's wild. Okay, there's some more over here. Surprised that this still counts as birchwoods. Very surprised. Gotta go back over again, I guess. Okay, 3 more and then we're good. And 3. I get some stamina. How much do I have? 1800, 3500 for that. I like the toy skin for Lambeo. I wasn't a huge fan of it before, but I like it a lot. Just collecting all these mushrooms. Lakeweed, which is just all around the edges of the water. Don't see any down on this stretch of the river, so I'm gonna go back up here and hope that it's respawned. There's some right here, okay. Okay, I can see some over here, I think. Or not. Yep, there is some over here. A lot of back and forth stuff. I almost missed this. There we go. And I need one more. Alright. Can I get any more of those yet? No. Cross the river. You can probably get most of the flowers for this quest down here, which will help out a lot. Get all of them down here actually. And we just head back to that little pond right there. We can get the mushrooms for sure. And then it's a question of, do we want to go north or do we want to go south? Ooh, new abilities. I don't know if I can get heal call yet. I can. Put that over there. Hides. Resilient skills for bleed, hugged feet for swimming. It's 800 for that. I have 1400 left. I need strong legs. I'm just gonna grab Forager for now in case I actively need it. Not put it on though, because it will drain my hunger and thirst faster. That's most of the abilities that I need on Lambeo. The senses ability and... Jeez, the senses one, the only one that's locked still? Yeah. There's nothing else in the second voice slot yet, and senses aren't actively a thing for Lambeo yet either. They'll likely get added in the next couple updates at some point. So does Pond still have water? Yes, it does. There's food somewhere around here too. %% water quality from me getting a good chunk of thirst. There we go. And I do know kind of where they spawn around here. This should be right over here, yep. Only 2 piles though, so I need a 3rd pile somewhere. I do like a lot of the creative nicknames that communities make up for things in games. Like Lambeo, Lamb for Lambeosaurus, and some people even call this thing the Lambulance because it has its heal call, which is nice. There's a bunch of goofy nicknames too. Trying to remember some good ones. Oh yeah. A couple of years back in the IO, people started calling the Spinosaurus in the game the Spoon or the Spinosaurus. I don't know exactly where that came from, but it's stuck and it's spread into this game too. There's a good chunk of the people that play Path for the IO first for a long time, including me. I'm just going out here to get the Tiger Nuts quest done. I can find some. What other nicknames are there that I'm forgetting? I'm not sure, my memory is kind of shot. I think there is one for Iggy. I think people call Iggy like a roided up zebra sometimes, but it's not that popular of a nickname for it. Kairos, of course, has several. It's got Duck, Dino, Kairos, all that kind of stuff. I usually just call it Duck or Kairos because it's more differentiating than Dino, and Dino, basically. Deinonychus, Deinosuchus, and Dinotyrus. And it looks like I'm not going to be able to complete the Tyrants quest from that area because I forgot where they are. Immediately get the same exact quest for this area. Well, here's food. That's something. Watch, this bush was at 69%. It's probably going to be down to like 10 after I am full on food, if I even get to fill up on of it. And I'm only an adolescent. Lambeo eats a lot. Bars does too, but Bars is also gigantic. Bars is outright the heaviest thing in the game, excluding mod stuff like Ampolo and Argent. But yeah, ate almost the entire bush. It's at 1%. I think I'm kind of close to finding where the tiger nuts usually are. Or on the completely opposite side. Let me see. Well, I think that might be something. Or is that just a bush? I cannot tell. Where am I going? I get turned around so easily. Well, almost ran over them. Funny, another thing of tiger nuts though. Need one more pile. We'll need one more full pile, basically. Here we go. Here we got flowers and button mushrooms. Just running around. I do remember there were a lot of flowers and button mushrooms back from where I came. Those mushrooms, either those mushrooms are one of the other few kinds. Those are milk cap mushrooms. You know, button mushrooms are, I'm almost certain, a very common mushroom to find in supermarkets, or just generally at stores. One of the many edible mushrooms. Unlike some of the others, they're decently easy to grow. Whereas the mantia, which are the red and white spotted ones, I'm pretty sure are toxic. And then milk caps, I'm not sure, but I think they're edible. I know death caps definitely aren't, and I don't know if the other kinds are. They're in this game. There we go. So rock shouldn't be too bad. I can't remember how old Lambeo is. I know Lambeo is one of the older herbivores in the game, but it's not the oldest. It's not as old as Kentra or Styrac, but it's older than Pachy and Alberta. It's older than EO2. It's older than Bars, older than Bass. I don't remember. These still haven't fully refilled, or someone came through and collected from them? There's no rocks or there's salt rocks? Those are just normal rocks, okay. These ones are full. It's another salt. They're good. I know that this big hill up here has salt rocks for sure. I get a drink. Remember, you gotta keep yourself hydrated, especially during the summer. It's good to stretch. How many marks do I have? Almost enough, okay. Yeah, it's good to stretch out the legs and the body every now and again. There we go. Then we get rocks, and then I'm going to go south from here because I went up north and I ended up just going back this way. I was gonna say, these rocks aren't fully replenished yet, are they? Means I need to go to another hill. Are there rocks over there? It doesn't look like it. I'm just gonna go back to this one. Lambeo knows this. That's a Quetz. Big modded pterosaur. Not a good idea there, Quetz. Not a good idea. Lambeo might not have much. It does have a very good tail attack. I hate that I can't see that it's charging up its big peck though. And that was definitely a tail shot. I don't know how that counts as a body shot. Oh my god, that kick didn't hit some. They might be out of stamina, actually. Yeah, they are out of stamina. Oh. That's what we call fucking around and finding out. Quetz is not very tanky, but it does a lot of damage. Lambeo is very tanky and does okay damage. Somehow it got a headshot on me at some point too. It only hit my tail a couple times, I guess. I can get my steam from that too. Nice. Almost. One more upgrade for it. Yeah, I'm just gonna get some stamina and a little bit of health back. That felt good. Yeah, that Quetz could have played that much better. I think if it played it slower and actively tried to fully charge its bleed pack and try and like what you'd call full it shot, which is kind of like, so I can show it with a line. It's going to be hard to show it with one, but like kind of like that. You kind of land like the first hit of, you land it either a you land an early hit of the what's it called? Oh my god! You land the earlier part of an attack for the hitbox, and then you quickly move as much of your hurt box, which is where you can get hit, away. It's kind of hard to do with the Lambeo because Lambeos get a big collision box, which means that stuff has a hard time getting past you, and you have a hard time getting past other stuff. And Lambeo also has relatively close hitboxes on its front kick, at least. It's hard to flick hit with the tail. It's a pretty hard tail attack to flick hit with overall, but you can still do it. It's not that bad, actually. What am I saying? Lambeo is a pretty easy tail to flick it with, because you can kind of do that. You can also drag hitboxes too, which Lambeo can kind of do with its tail, but It's not as easy. A good example of something that has a very good drag hitbox is Anno's Tail Slam, or just Anno's attacks in general, because Anno has very long animations for its attacks, but the damage window is very long as well. This Lambeo has very quick attacks that have a very low damage window, but don't have much end lag or startup lag. And there's the reflection on the water, where I gotta not look at the water, because I don't want to blind anyone, including myself. And at sub-adult now, can't unlock anything new for abilities, just there's nothing there. But that's always nice that I'm still getting bigger and stronger. I think I am going to go toward Dried Lake and Green Valley, which are just south of here across the river. I hate that that reflection is right there. It's so bright, and I can't turn it off. There are a couple options that I always think should be either excluded from games or have an option to disable them every time. They are motion blur, screen shake, and it's called lens flare. This game doesn't have screen shake, and this game doesn't have motion blur either, but it does have lens flare, which is what that bright light whenever I'm looking at the water is. I'm just gonna let my stamina come back for a second. Okay, can I get up the mountain here? I might be able to. This kind of looks like I can right here. I do know there is a shortcut where you don't have to go all the way around to get over into, what's it called? Dried Lake is the next area. Okay, get some stamina. I'll pop my knuckles too. Noisy knuckle cracks. So I did get the location. Oh, so I need to slide. I do see an actual path on the mini-map where he's going to sneak through. Okay, branches. more of this way, I think. Yeah. It's not a collectible branch. There we go, here's some. I'm glad that they reduced the number of branches you need to complete the quest. Because before it was 25, I think, which meant that you needed an extra pile of branches on top of how many you already need. Actually, an extra 2, basically. And branches respawn quite slow, so it was not very nice. Because you need... yeah. How many was it? Yeah, it was an extra pile, just because you would be 1 off. And if someone had already come through, then you got and collected the branches in the last hour, then you'd have a hard time getting the branch quest done. Right here, right, yeah. And here we got this quest, which is convenient. I think there's just enough flowers here to complete the quest. Okay, that skin is fully upgraded now. It's the right pattern. Let's hit the random button. Oh, it's quite nice, and then right there, this one I'm not gonna mess with. Let's use that one. There we go. This is a good Lambeo skin. Nice Lambeo skin that I like a lot. Okay, how absolutely speedy I am now. This is why I like speed Lambeo so much. Not just because I think speed builds are better for just overall survival, but because speed Lambeo just feels so much better to play in my opinion. Because yeah, you're gonna take like 5 less hits to kill for most things than defense Lambeo, but how can they kill you that fast if they're hitting the end of your tail and getting smacked in the face for it more consistently, as opposed to them getting your body them getting body shots. And there we go. This Tyrants done too. The roots, which are just in the center, got there. She fell up on berries. I should find some. I should eventually figure out what I'm doing with music stuff. I'm just more so concerned about Twitch not liking some things. There's so many things that I keep forgetting to do. So many. I need to remember to do them more. I just haven't. Because I think of something, and I'm like, I should do that. And then I completely forget 10 minutes later. Probably not even 10 minutes later, usually it's 5 minutes later. I can slide down here, right? Yeah. I used to kind of, not like a lot of the sounds in this game because they sounded kind of dull, especially with poor Lambeo, but I think Lambeo sounds interesting. Like, it's pretty neat. You got the TIE Fighter sneeze. I'll say Lambeo's broadcast does sound kind of soulless, but it's not that big a deal. Okay, other abilities to unlock. That's already done, that's already done. Strong legs. I'm not gonna unlock that yet. Got this. There's something for strong legs. Yeah. I hear something. I don't see it though, because it's dark and I'm kind of blind. It might just be out of my visual range. Where am I going? Not the right way. It's also not the right way. I go this way. We're going toward, not Grand Plains. Green Valley, that's what's up here. And I know Green Valley is almost always a hot spot, so... Anyway, stamina out. I'll say, Lambeo doesn't have all that much to fear. I got to check on something real quick. Alright. Oh, I'm gonna be a lot more cautious in Green Valley, because well, as I mentioned, it's a hot spot. And I don't want to get absolutely annihilated for being a lone herbivore. There are some herbivores that I just have no fear as, or not no fear, but I'm much less cautious as. One of them is Styrac, because as long as I have 80% stamina, I'm confident that I can either get away from anything or beat anything up completely. Pinterest, another one that I'm very confident with. And then there are some that I'm very unconfident with, like Stego, for instance. I'm very cautious of Stego because I know Stego doesn't have the best stamina. I know Stego's not that fast. And I know Stego can get melted by Apexes really easy. Lamb's kind of somewhere in the middle where I'd consider Lamb kind of like bars in that I know that there's a lot of stuff that there's some things that I have to be careful of, and I still have to be a little bit wary if I'm on my own. But I'm not vulnerable, really. Might as well get some water while I'm here. Usually this place is pretty populated. There we go. Got all my abilities right. Yeah, okay. So it's just skins that I'm unlocking at this point with marks. And I can get the 2 other subspecies. Hello Downsy, how are you? The stream is doing pretty well here. I am doing well. Just playing some Lambeo. Running around. Yeah, I was just saying that I can unlock the other 2 subspecies because just a couple patches ago the developers added in the ability to unlock additional subspecies that you don't start with. Because before you had to, if you wanted to change your subspecies from, say, speed to balanced, you would need to make an entirely new character and grow from scratch. And because before that update as well, you had a hard limit on how many turns you could have per server. That wasn't just limited to the number of species. You have you had kind of an issue. And now that issue's been remedied, which was an issue that was a bit of a weird issue that I had with the game, was you have to grow an entirely new thing if you want to make a new set of species, and you can't have one of every species, you can only have what the devs set. But they changed it, and it's very good now. But where am I going now? Probably just gonna swing on down south and then head across like that over time. I'm almost full grown with Lambeo though, so probably when I'm full grown I'll switch to something else. Maybe a Pachy or an Alberta. Oh. Something's hunting a critter. Baby Ita. Just going to go up over here. Get some food and pass the time. I just get some more water while I'm waiting. And I got something to check. Get done checking that stuff. And now I'm just going to go off for Whistling Toms in the south. Probably loop back around through Dark Woods, up into Crater, up into Grand Bones and Crater. That's just where most of the stuff happens on this server. Ooh. I actually did get scars from that quest, nice. Just had something I got out of the fight. A scar on my thigh. It's like I might have one on my face. I haven't seen this light. Do I have one on my face? I don't think so. It's fine though. Battle scars. Oh my god. I know for a fact that my mic is picking that up too. I wonder who that could be being awake. For the first time in 2.5 days, for the first time in 2 days. I wonder who that could be making a lot of noise, oh boy. I'm just trying to get down this cliff. And let's see. There we go. Get down the cliff, get away from the home cave so I don't get the debuff. Alright. Just trying to go safe log and switch dinos now. We'll be back in 1 moment. I gotta check something. Alright. Mm-hmm. You don't want to no, because Styrock back here something else. It's been a while since I've been a Pachy. Where did I spawn? North side of the map. Get all the way up here. I can get this quest done real quick. There's something around here. This one's kind of small though. Pachy also collects quest items very quickly. So I climb up here. And let's do abilities real quick. Exactly 500 for kick. Charge and kick are kind of preferential. Kick does more damage, charge does knockback. So it's kind of a pick your poison deal. And I'm definitely not going to stay in this area because I'm not waiting for a water replenish quest to get done. Quest more because the water replenish quests are awful. Soon I drive up to Snake Valley and hope that I don't get the flower delivery quest. That one is quite annoying. Although there is a little kind of makeshift land bridge that they put in to make it a little bit easier. Just a shame that it's not near any of the flower patches. Not near many of them. Tiger nut. Little baby Deinonychus. I kind of don't want them to mess with me because I don't want to have to fight a tiny little raptor. They're just gonna get kicked once in the face and run away. Just need one more pile of tiger nuts. There we go. That waystone quest will get finished in a couple seconds. I did not realize that this was what this Pachy looked like. Yeah, I just clicked random at one point. And we're gonna put on what's the tail attack? 300, right? Yep. And it didn't give me another location quest when the waystone one expired, so we're gonna move on. Whistle demon goat noises. Rock. I am on the rock. That noise is very interesting. It sounds kind of like a goat, kind of like a sheep, and kind of like something else, all at the same time, which is pretty cool. Oh. And so you wanna know, I thought that it was a Megalania for a second. Cannot quite make that jump. Bloodstones, bloodstones, bloodstones. Here we go. Definitely more of them. Okay, here are some more. Just kind of zooming around. God damn it, tortoise, why you gotta be a pain? Every time my tortoise is just such a pain. I don't know what compels her to do anything other than she's just a pain. Because I did look it up, and the only thing that I could see is she feels like she feels like uncomfortable, but she feels uncomfortable or a little bit stressed, but at the same time, even if I do, well, the only thing that I found that really stops her from being a pain for a couple days is putting Timothy hay in her terrarium. But Timothy hay makes both me and my mom have really bad allergic reactions. Not like anaphylaxis or anything, but we get hives and we get really itchy. And my mom, it's more so the hives for me. I legitimately like I can't see. I have bad vision already, but my vision gets worse for a couple days whenever I touch Timothy hay. Even still, I'll probably give her some more at some point. She's usually fine though, that's the thing. She's been completely happy the last, like, week. She's only done this, like, 2 or 3 times in the last week. As far as I know, because I wasn't here most of last week. Where am I doing? Yeah, I was gonna say, I know it's right around here. Is this the skin? Yes, 4,500 for that one. It's just 5 badges. Now that Rainbow Hills is done, find a good place to cross the river. Evil goat noises. Alright. That's a good spot right there. Used to change for a little bit of extra distance in that jump. Succulents. I think there's enough of those around here to complete the whole quest. Let's try to get some stamina. Is there anything else that I can unlock that I haven't yet? Aside from Scavenger, which is basically worthless. Okay. The reason I say Scavenger is basically worthless is because it doesn't really do anything. It drains your hunger way faster. The only reason that you'd ever pick Scavenger with Pachy is just for the experience of being a small, weird carnivorous herbivore thing. It's mainly so bad because carcasses are very sparse on this map. The spawn carcasses. It takes a long time to kill most things as Pachy because Pachy doesn't do a ton of damage. Unless they massively screw up or they're around your size. And it's also really hard to sustain it, along with also, you know, the water drain, among other things. Yeah, and another thing I forgot to mention, bones are another thing that you can eat with Scavenger, but bones are super, super, super rare on most maps. They're almost non-existent on Pandora. They're a little bit more common here, but they're still not common. Not quite enough to complete the quest as far as I can see for succulents here, although I might have missed a patch. Flowers. This way. More flowers. I do know that I can just run over the next hill. Just in order to collect as many flowers as possible along the way. You can get them all done here, actually, which is pretty cool. The rocks. Oh, there are some rocks right here to the left. Even more. Oh. Another pile right here, so I'm gonna need more still. One more pile. Which is not that difficult to find. Way up there. Whole bunch of stuff for that. Loot still. One more thing of roots. And now we're just trying to come back down this way. So I go to Savannah Grassland. I should have quick stop at the healing water in Hunter's Thicket. Little cave. I can fit in here. Ooh. I'm gonna go too far because I have growth on and I know for a fact I will get stuck if I stay in there too long, and I can grow. I wonder, can I jump up here? Can. Flowers. I don't know if there's any flowers around this side of Hunter's Thicket. I know there are on the rock formations, but I don't know if there's any of the healing water. How am I going through here? Let's see. Flowers, food, water, quests. Bro. All things that I gotta keep track of. All things that I gotta do. Let's see, are there flowers? Adolescent, so I can probably get something new. It's not that important. I'm going to get leap. I still have enough for a lot of stuff, so I'll get that too. Not enough. There we go, that's basically set for Pachy. The only thing that I have is Lone Survivor and Speed Hide in my diet to unlock for abilities. The other diet, but alright, it's not that useful. I just noticed, because of the random skin that I got, this Pachy's head looks sunburned. Oh no. That is a tree stump. And up we go. Once we get to the mud flats, which aren't too far, so I can go back to them. Just first I'm going to get these quests done. And we go over here, pick up the last one, and look. Okay, and the quest kind of janked out. Let's unlock that now before I forget. I guess then I'll just go off to the mud flats. Let's see. Yeah. Just gonna cross the river down here. And I'm definitely not doing that Lake Week quest because that is near this part of the lake, because the Lake Week doesn't spawn anywhere else, which I think is annoying design-wise for the area. But we will. And right over to Mud Flats to get this quest done. It's basically right here and it's pretty easy. Generally close by location quests are pretty easy. Alright. So now I even have to get Lone Survivor when I at that first stage. Lovely little sunburnt Pachy. I'm actually gonna wait around here for the Hunter's Thicket too. The Hunter's Thicket quest to expire. That way I can hopefully get another one that isn't, no, kind of worthless. Impossible to do from where I am without having to go all the way back to the middle. Actually, you know what, screw it, I'll just keep going. Doesn't bug me that much. Let's see. I am probably going to go to Hot Springs, actually, because it's pretty close by. Okay. Do I go to Desolate Pass? Geez, that's not too far from where I am. Yeah, we'll go to Hot Springs first. Hot Springs is a little bit closer, I think. I don't even have to swim to get over to Hot Springs, unless I want to go all the way back into the Central Thicket, which I don't. Okay. Across this little island we go. And here we get berries. Alright. That was a cool little sound cut off. Apparently I already sound like an adult, not even halfway through an adolescent. Interesting. And I'm going to get some stamina real quick. Look at that lovely pair of stripes. That's a Rex. Don't see it, but I just heard it. Nope. Can definitely still outrun a Rex, but that's definitely a nope. You're a Meg. Still got better jumps than a Megalania. Even if it has leap, I can still jump way higher. Yeah, I can jump up there. That's something big, Dad. It's like a Noviana. Just from a mod. I'm gonna try and get out of here for Desolate Pass. That's an Ala. Not a full grown Ala. Of course, the Ala didn't immediately try and chase me. Alright. I just don't feel like accidentally getting. I don't feel like having to worry about getting one of the worst hot spring quests. Bones. There is one spot in particular here that has enough bones to complete the quest easily. Just gotta go back to it. Drop down. We're very close to Sharptooth Marsh right now. Let's... We're still running. Like a wonky way. Should be right up here for the bones. But they were on the other side of this rock. These big, kind of weird rock mound things. Yep. I'd say plants. And boom. How quickly we make our way to Sharptooth Marsh before we have to stay here for more quests. Oh, a little bit of rubber banding there. Did I just drop down? Kind of. Yes. Look at this weird light filter. But flowers. No fall damage all the way, that's really nice. Alright. I make my way to the center island because that's where the majority of the flowers are. The majority of the quest stuff is too. Of course, this area is always going to have pretty much pristine water because it's salt water. Drinking salt water in this game is obviously bad. And there we go. I went kind of the wrong way, I think. Yep. Need to make my way to that big center area. Alright. 95s. Yep, here's some. I think I only need one thing of flowers to get the whole quest done at the lake. Of course, grabbing 2 can't hurt. Just in case. And there's another one right here, so might as well get it while I can. That's weird. This whole area right here is one of the best spots on the entire map for an insectivore. Because there's easy access to food and pretty easy access to water. With the lake up here. Although, yeah, there is one other spot, which is, oh, back on that. Another spot right up here. Around here, there's a ton of termite mounds, but there's basically no water up in savanna grassland. Honestly, I think savanna grassland, if it had fresh water, would be a decent spot for most things. Just the fact that the nearest water is this, which is always patrolled by mega packs on officials, or almost always patrolled by mega packs. Is it healing water? Any more milk caps right here? Yep, there's enough for the quest. How many merch do I got? 2,400. Tiger nuts. Enough for the quest right here. How many more do we... That's it for quests here, okay. So, get food, get water, and then we're going to keep going south. That was very bright. I heard something. Oh, I'm stuck on a tree. I hate that there's dust in the swamp. That's so annoying. Yes, that is dust, it's not fog. Harmful effects for it are just very obscuring. They were cool for about the first 3 weeks that this map was a thing. And they immediately lost all their luster and they started blocking all of the visibility for no reason. Just I can run up here real quick. Flowers and milk caps. Or bunt mushrooms, sorry. I can jump across the river, or I can do the smarter thing and go across the little land bridge here. Can't get up there really. Take that jump at least. Okay, bunt mushrooms, which are all the way back here. I wonder if there are any over on this little green patch. Hopefully there are. That way I won't have to go all the way back to the lake. Well, there's a lot of flowers here. The button mushrooms. And check down here. Up here. I don't see anything here. I don't see anything here either. Nothing here. Get back, up we go. Back down we go, I guess. Should I get some stamina real quick? I'm not even subbed up yet. Almost sub though. And we just gotta run this way. Heck you, what's this? There's subtle, which means that I can definitely get this now. Alright, now it's time to show off the weirdest thing Pachy can do. That was very good, but so that was a very good variant of it, but you can kind of jump like that with Pachy, which is really weird. You can do that with a bunch of other stuff. It's just very easy to do with Pachy because it has so many turn radius boosters in its abilities right now. Pachy's also got Elite for the higher jump. You can kind of do it with Alio a little bit. I think you can kind of do it with Serato a little bit. Now you can do it with both Dynon and Latin, which are the two little raptors. But I know you can't do it with Megalania for certain. This Megalania doesn't have the jump height. Right back to the river. Okay. That's the river I go. Just because there's way more shellfish on this side. Oh. Keep almost walking over stuff. Which is understandable because of these big bushes, it's kind of hard to see. This area reminds me a lot of the, what's it called? The Death Ravine on in the Isle. Death Ravine is on Isla Spiro, and it's a giant ravine that runs across the kind of the northeast part of the map, and along most of it are huge obscuring bushes right around the edges, so you can't see the edges, and you'll fall off real easy. It's not a terrible place to go as a carnivore if you can get into the ravine, because you'll find a lot of bodies usually. but it's just generally not a good place overall. It's dangerous, and especially around one of the more northern parts of it, there is a called around the more northern part of it, there's a nesting ground, and dinosaurs just really like to camp it. Or maybe not really like to, but I've seen quite a few dinos just up there. Every time with the reflections in the water, so bright. Actually, once I get this area completed for quests, probably a quest. See it because of the reflection. Look how dense the trees are here. There's the water. Oh, there's a quest right there. Okay. Holy cool. Once I get this quest done, once I get this area done, at least I think I'm going to end. I'm doing for a little while, at least. Quite a while, actually. That's this spot here. Little cave thing. Get some stamina. Alright. Just gotta look for tiger nuts. And then I know what the last quest should be, unless it resets the quest to the flower one again. That's a Megalania. Yeah, that's one thing that I will say. I might not be able to see stuff very easy, but I pick up on odd sounds pretty quick, especially vibrations. The vibration stuff is mostly from footsteps in games like this. Okay. I'm hoping that there's some tiger nuts up here, I don't remember though. I guess there are. There's something running around. There's definitely enough for the quest to be complete here anyway, which is nice. Right. And now I can drop down the cliff and go get the mushroom quest done. I really should play Pachy way more than I do. Sorry, had to stretch really quick. It's important to keep yourself from getting cramps and keep yourself hydrated, especially when watching a stream or streaming or anything like that. Alright. Yeah, I did get some mushrooms too. That's this area complete. I do have enough for this too. Alright. Ooh, that looks decent. What is it? Yeah, I'm trying to get a certain skin. I'll change it up a little bit. I think it's still just fine to keep it the way it is mostly. Or I usually do it anyway. The skin. There we go. How many marks do I have? 350. I can do one more quest and be ready to hit a bolt. Actually, I'm just gonna call it here. Find a good spot to hide. It's good enough. Great. Thank you to all those that popped in to say hello. Thank you to anyone that watches the VOD or watches the video. I appreciate it. I do have a Discord, and you can probably find that on my. I do have a Discord, which I'll put in the stream chat right now before I forget. And what else? Oh yeah. I'm going to be streaming again on Wednesday, probably around the same time. I'm so forgetful. I think that's all that I have to say. Yeah, if you want to join the Discord or go to my Twitch, I have a link to my YouTube, which I don't have set up on here sadly, but I will get that set up at some point because I have to remember that. And as always,